Hey everybody, I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside and welcome to As Above, So Below, a rune and tarot divination for Thursday, let's see, the 9th day of May, 2024. Let me move my keyboard out of the way here. Keep the numerical pad for when I do the numerology here. Let's get that up. Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started here. I hope you've been having a good week. It looks like the weather's turning for the better, and I can probably start taking out the tomato plants to the greenhouse this weekend. I'll probably have to still keep heat on but at night, but that's okay. Get a little more room in here for the other stuff I have to plant. I've got to start my pumpkin seeds and other stuff, the cucumbers and the zucchini today. I have to do that, get them started on the wet paper towels, get them germinating there. It won't take long, a couple days, and they'll be popped open, and I can plant them in the probably some 4-inch pots. Get them started in that. But they still can't go out until, the 1st of June. So, and even then we have to watch. So you just never know around here when the frost is going to hit. Well, I'm waiting for the runes to drop through my fingers. It's taking a while. So I can show you today's rune. There we go. All right, we have Fehu. Fehu is the first rune of the Elder Futhark. It means cattle and wealth. It's about transaction. It's about abundance and life force. It's ascending energy in magical workings. It can be used for that. You can chant Fehu when you're ready to cast your intention to the universe. But it means growth and success and abundance. And again, you can, I try to make these as broad a definition as I can, whereas, you're talking about tangible, transactions with people. But how you transact all kinds of things, your expectations, how you convey those. So it's kind of like conveying things in a way as well. But let's see what the Geomancy rune has to say for the below side. That was for the above side, or higher self side, or as above side. All right, let's put these over here. Let's see, we have, there's fire, there's air, there's water, there's earth. Oh, well, Vaya. So Vaya is one side of the idea of how you maneuver through life. Do you do it independently with Vaya, or do you do it in a group, being a follower with Populus? I'll show you Populus, wherever it is. There it is. So this is Vaya. Whenever you see a single dot in a Geomancy rune, that's an active principle, so initiative. And then if you see a 2 dots, that's passive. So here you have Vaya, which is the way or the path or the journey. It can also mean stuck in perception. So that single-mindedness, it could be something like that. But here you have Populus, it's complement. So they're kind of 2 sides of the same coin. Populus, of course, again, would be the follower, or somebody that maybe just doesn't really, is not initiating. It's not initiating the journey. They're just following along. So it's the crowd, the people. Whereas you're setting the path here with Vaya. So there could be something in terms of transaction today. It could have to do with material security, where maybe a new path is opening today for you. In terms of your growth, is your success, a new path is opening. So let's see, or you're taking some initiative, maybe. That's also another way to see it, even if it's not a new path. Maybe it's a new path for you, that you're initiating something here within an already existing structure. So, but let's just say, for the sake of the reading so far, that there's a new path that could be opening toward maybe a little more security and wealth and abundance. Oops. Let's go ahead and take the cards here. I'll shuffle just a little bit more. And then I'll cut the deck, and we'll take the lower half, and we'll start. I'll pull 3 cards and see if that's going to be enough. If I need more, if I feel like there's a piece missing in it, I'll take another card. If it feels like I need to know a little bit more about the 3 cards I'm pulling, or one of them, or all of them, or whatever, then I'll take more. But generally, assuming I can shuffle today. I generally don't take any more than 4 or 5 cards total in a reading. So, I mean, at least so far. So we have the Ace of Pentacles. It's going to be a run on Pentacles here. So again, material security, wealth, transaction of some kind that way. We have the Ace of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, and the High Priestess. So since we have one card from the Major Arcana, I think what I want to do with her is put her in the center and kind of up above a little higher. So what that's going to look like when I write it up on over at Stepping Aside, or you see it written up over on Substack Medium or Patreon, it's going to look like this with her above a little bit in the picture. So that just, to me, that gives it some elevated stature, or elevated status, and which I think the soul has, obviously. So let's go ahead I'll back up though. The Ace of Pentacles also has a tremendous amount of power. It's the genesis of everything. It's all undeveloped potential where, and again, with the Ace of Pentacles, you're seeing the new path that's forming here, having to do with material security or some kind of physical reality kind of thing. But with Fehu, I think we're talking about some kind of new opportunity maybe today, and taking a new path to get there. So maybe something brand new having to do with your material security. But here's the thing. Let's talk about the High Priestess first. The High Priestess is going to be about intuition and wisdom and revelation and balance, compassion, inner wisdom. She's the subconscious realm for people. So you're looking at both the dark and light pillars there, Boaz and Yakim. They're the pillars of Solomon, but they're I don't know if originally they were this color. I doubt it. I think what they're trying to represent here with the High Priest is balancing dark with light. Balancing the receptive presence, which would be the dark, with the light, which would be the projective or active type of presence. Again, kind of showing the same sort of balance between Vaya and Populus. Populus would be the receptive, and Vaya would be the projective. You can also call it feminine and masculine, but sometimes people get hung up on the idea that that's gender, and that's not the case. It's just the receptive and projective presence within, and where you fall along that continuum. Here she's sitting on a stone bench. You see the drape behind her that reflects, they're pomegranates, and I'm not sure what type of palm frond these are. Maybe, I don't know, is what it looks like. But it looks like it's probably the tree of life from the Kabbalah here, although you can't see it for certain, but that's kind of what it seems to be. Here she's got one foot resting on a crescent moon. Her robe just sort of and her cape just sort of flows down around her. You see the cross here, the white cross on the on her gown here, reflecting that type of balance between spirit and form, and then the masculine and feminine polarity within. But that's after you come into form. When you're talking about that, you see the triple aspect of the goddess above here: maiden, mother, and crone. Let's see, what else do you see here? Basically, she's holding the Torah on her lap. So she's holding the word of the Creator on her lap. And essentially you see that type of triplicity, but you also see balance here within it. And you see with the tree of life behind her, or the depiction of that behind her, the different stages of that we go through, that the soul goes through, similar to the major arcana or to the runes themselves, the stages that the soul goes through while in form. But here she's really talking about inner balance and using intuition and divine wisdom, alignment and higher awareness. it could be revealing something when she appears in a reading. This about the hidden aspect of self or the subconscious realm. So there could be something hidden that's happening here with respect that you're relying on. So your intuition to tell you the direction to go here in terms of Vaya, so that to pursue a new opportunity today that can then perhaps bring you more wealth and more material security. And again, with the two cards from Pentacles, that's the earth element. That's what that's about. It's really about our physical reality and our material security, our abundance, our tradition, loyalty. It's a very Othala type of an energy. Othala is the 21st rune of the Elder Futhark. It's an earth element rune. And so it really it talks about prosperity and balance and possessions, the Akashic record of our lives. So everything that goes into that, everything that goes into our experiences here, in terms of the physicalness of our reality. But with the Ace of Pentacles, here we see a hand reaching out from the clouds. You see this in every Ace card in the Rider-Waite, holding a huge coin here, a very big coin. You see the emanations from spirit here. All is possible here in terms of your material security. You see lilies here that adorn the path on either side. You see the hedgerow here. You see it creating an archway here. Some mountains are in the background, but you see the path that moves through that archway into new experiences. It's undeveloped potential here. In other words, the new path that could be opening for you that has to do with a new opportunity, all things could be possible there. Anything could happen, and in terms of increasing your material security. And so with being an ace, you have the power of all of that undeveloped potential at your disposal here today. So going along then with your intuition, you take that path toward a new opportunity. Now, you see the mountain in the background. There could be some challenges along the way, but that's okay, right? Sometimes people will say, well, it's not worth doing if there aren't challenges along the way, because what do you really learn? What do you really gain from it if you didn't have to try to solve problems or dilemmas along the way on that path to something new and wonderful happening for you? If it's easy, then there's not a lot of motivation, right? You just sort of move into it and, well, that was easy, that was simple. But when you really have to struggle, at the end of the day, when you succeed, it's like, wow, I really went through it. I learned a lot, and I can apply all that to the next time. And so I just think that it's interesting that they include mountains in the distance there, because I think they're relevant. I think the challenges you face with this new endeavor are going to be positive in the long run. They might be difficult at some times and trying to figure it all out, but you can always ask for assistance. The Six of Pentacles, the sixes in the Rider-Waite Tarot show unequalness. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. In the Six of Cups, you've got a taller person handing a cup full of flowers to a shorter person. So you see the unequal height. In the Six of Wands, you see a man of means on a horse with people walking alongside them. So there's a sense of unequalness there. Here, I don't care for this card. I have a visceral reaction to it. The activist comes out and it's like, well, wait a minute. What are you really doing for these people? Are you elevating them out of their place on the ground here by giving them a job? No. Instead, they're both looking up at him. He's holding the scales behind, almost like when you cross your fingers behind you if you're lying to somebody, right? You're trying to hope they'll buy what you're saying. And so, you see it's kind of stereotypic with the fingers crossed behind your back. Well, it's almost like that here. He's trying to do things in balance, or he's trying to present himself as someone who will. But is he really? We don't know if he's going to give this guy anything yet, because all we see is him dropping coins into this guy's hand. But he's not doing anything for them. You can even see the unequalness here. Less for this guy with the trying to con them into thinking he's going to do something for them. But here you have more dropping into this guy's hand. Here you don't have anything yet, right? And So I guess I feel like even though this is maybe extending compassion and empathy and trying to give assistance and all of that with the six, at the same time I think it's a fallacy. I don't believe that. I don't believe this scenario. I don't believe he's somebody who's there to actually help with with hiring him or both of them or what have you. I feel like it's just, well, here's a little money just to make himself feel better. And so I would say that this is a cautionary tale for the reading, that if you need assistance from anybody along the way on this new path, be very careful who you're getting it from. What do they expect in return? Are they being on the level with you about that, or is it just somebody you know that knows more than you do, and you value their opinion? Maybe a relative, a parent, what have you, or an old boss or something at another job you had, where or just somebody in your community that you've gone to for advice before, who doesn't expect anything from you, other than, gosh, how cool it is you came to talk to me. That's really cool. I appreciate that, that you value what I have to say enough that you'll ask. And so, because believe me, people, when you go to somebody who knows more than you do, and you're asking questions like that the person feels good. It's like, wow, they value what I have to say, and so it's a positive experience, and that you're able to transfer some of your own legacy and your own experience onto somebody else who's just starting out, that kind of a situation. But I just feel that this is more of a cautionary tale today. That's how it's hitting me. That your intuition is going to guide you from the high priestess here. That if you have to, go and ask for assistance and see what you can, get from somebody else in terms of information, or assistance on the new path that's opening, just be careful who it is. Make sure that they don't have their own personal agenda at work, because to me, this guy has a personal agenda, and it's to make himself feel better about himself for really not doing anything at all. He's not doing enough anyway, and it's imbalanced, and it's not something that is going to actually assist these people into something better for themselves, to raise them up out of poverty, in other words. And so be careful if you do have to talk to anybody else for advice. If something feels off about it, just take it with a grain of salt. Thank them and move on. Maybe find somebody else you can ask a question of. But again, be careful of what's being offered along the way. That would be the cautionary tale for today. And make sure that they're doing it just for you, instead of to further on their own personal agenda, their own ego agenda. I used to know somebody who would want to talk to people about this or that, but it was only to open the door for him to then tell them how it should all be. It was not that he was looking for advice or perspective or anything. It was literally looking for a stage that he could then, dump all of his ideas off on these people who really have to get back to work, basically. And it's like, okay, why are you here again? You wanted my advice, but you don't want my advice. You want to tell me how wrong I am and how that should be done this way and this way. He was just looking for something else. So there's an example, of somebody who is being underhanded about why he's there. It's just to soothe his own ego. That's the only reason he was doing it. And so you've got to be careful today, on your new path. If you do need assistance, just make sure that it feels right to you, that you understand what their motives are for telling you what they're telling you. Make sure that it's really going to be helpful. You might not just ask one person, maybe you ask more than one if if you really need some advice, say you want to open a business or something like that, and you need to get advice from a variety of different people. So not just somebody but maybe an accountant, maybe an attorney, somebody in the industry that is maybe in an official capacity somewhere, that knows what the laws are that you need to be aware of, things like that. Get your ideas from other people in a variety of places, instead of relying just on one person who may have an agenda. So I don't think I need another card here. But again, a new path can open that can be filled with all kinds of new opportunities for you, that can bring you material security. Rely on your intuition to tell you when something doesn't feel right. If you're being told something that you're just like, I don't know about that. And it's not that you have any facts to sustain that. It's that inside something doesn't feel right. Pay attention to that inner voice, because that may be alerting you to somebody with a personal agenda that wants to steer you in a place that isn't really going to help you. So maybe they've got somebody in their life that's also doing the same thing, and they don't want to see you open up a business and then compete with them. It's that kind of a feeling. I don't trust this guy. Anytime I see this card, it's like, okay, there's an illusion here that's happening. And so be aware of that. When you go and you seek assistance from other people, be aware of what their motivations might be for the answers that they're giving. So think about it that way. But over and above this, it just looks like the Ace of Pentacles is certainly aligning well with both Vehu and Vaya. And so just if you already know that this is happening in your life, just pay attention to your intuition and who you're talking to. And if it's not, and this is something new that's going to open, when it does, just be aware of these things when you start to explore a new path for yourself. So that should do it for today. Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't clicked subscribe yet, I hope you will. And give it a like if you want to. If you don't, that's okay. Check out the blog, Stepping Aside. The web address there is imsteppingaside.com. Click on more below the video and a window will open and it shows that web address right there. You can scroll down and you'll see the other places where I'm at. Over on Substack, a Substack page is called Witch Notes. Everywhere else on Patreon and on Medium, it's just under my name, Jan Erickson. But look for the forecast to come out everything comes out on Sunday on the blog. So you've got the forecast, you've got the astrological overview for the week, daily correspondences for work and magic if you're magically inclined. It's just a little cheat sheet if you need to look and see where the moon is, where the sun is, what moon phase you're in, what mansion of the moon is active during that day and that particular day, and the astrological chart below each day. It also has planetary hours on each one for each day, so you can check that out as well. If you are accustomed to putting astrological information into your spell work, it's a really good resource for that. Below each one is other correspondences, like what herbs, what crystals, what energy is at work, all of that's there as well. So it's pretty comprehensive. If you're interested in looking at that, go over to the blog and look at that in any of the weeks, but this week will be coming out. Next week's will be coming out on Sunday. And also the remainder, I only have a few more weeks here of the Exploring Tarot series, and so that's still active over there on the blog. So check all that out, and if you would, I'd love you to do that as well. I'm pretty proud of the blog, and I've been doing it. I think I started in what was it, December of 2012, I think, is when I first started writing on the blog over there. It was a different name at that time, but then I changed it to Stepping Aside at some point because I kept talking about that idea of stepping aside of the chaos and stepping aside of the world and, and creating your own vision and all of that. So I don't know. I like doing it. And so if you want to check it out, that'd be cool. And then come back on Monday of next week for another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself. Be good to one another. And blessed be.